Hello friends, welcome to Rita's Paper Motif. Today I wanted to share with you a fun fold. It's called the gatefold, and it's been around for a while, but I just wanted to revisit it, and that would it's a third part of what we've been talking about, basic measurements and fun folds that come from those basic measurements. So before we get started though, I did just want to introduce myself. I'm Rita at Rita's Paper Motif. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I love to share with you card designs, scrapbook pages, and 3D projects in hopes that you'll create and share with those that matter in your life. So let's get started. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that you can find so much information by going to ritaspapermotif.com. You'll find tutorials, you'll find what's happening now, you'll find specials, and you'll also be able to find on the homepage, if you scroll to the bottom, you'll find an icon that looks like this. Now, at the bottom of that icon, there will be a button that you can push, and when you push that button, then you will be able to look inside our brand new annual catalog that just went live yesterday, May 6th. So it is live now. You can order from the catalog, and there's some really gorgeous stuff in here. New designer series paper. Who doesn't like designer series paper, right? But there's also, if you are a scrapbooker, there's also some options for your scrapbooking needs. And so I really encourage you to go to Rita's Paper Motif and take a look. And I also want to thank those of you that shop with me as your demonstrator. I definitely appreciate your business. Now also, if you'd be so kind as to contact me and let me know that you'd like to be added to my email list, I would love to put you on that. And then I do send out regular emails that keep you in the now. All right, there's one other thing I wanted to share with you before we get started. Actually, a couple of things. That we are having a special right now for anyone that would like to join my team. So my team of designers or paper crafters is called Memories and Wishes. And Stampin' Up! Is having a special right now. It's one of the biggest specials ever. And that is, you can get the starter kit. You would get $165 if you live in the United States worth of product for only $99. So that's an extra $66 that you get in product that you don't actually have to pay, right? Now, this starter kit can kickstart your business if you wanted to be a demonstrator and to start a small business. That would this would kickstart that. But if you wanted just to take advantage of the discount on product, so the discount is anywhere from 20 to 25% on the product, and you also get exclusive and early access to the product. So it's a great way to you just have a little leeway when you're in a demonstrator. And also, as far as I'm concerned, as your team leader, as your demonstrator, I do conduct monthly events where we would craft together, we would share, we could have fun times too, maybe a Zoom class here and there or a meetup class. So I invite you to join under me as your demonstrator, and let's have great fun. So whether you want to do this as a business or you just want to get the discount, this is a great deal. And then also I wanted to remind you that we're also able to earn a Stampin' Up! Reward. So you have to go in and to the online and create your account, but every time you make a purchase, you're getting 10% on that purchase, so long as you start at least with $20, right? So after your $20 purchase, or with your $20 purchase, then you get 10% on whatever the total purchase is. Now you can use up those rewards at that time, or you can bank them for a year. But you know what's great about it is sometimes you see a new product and you have some some rewards that you've saved up, it really does take the edge off of that, and sometimes makes it kind of worth it with the postage, right? So I did want to just share those with you. Now let's get started. I wanted to make a card today with you, and this is a gatefold. Now there's so many kinds of gatefolds, just like there's so many different fun folds. We've talked about the Z fold, right? We've talked about how you can make a Z fold, and even how you can let your designer series paper help you with that Z fold. So there's just so many different things that we have talked about, even with the Z fold. Well, the same is true with the gatefold. Now I'm going to take all these parts out because we're going to get started with our card. Now let's see here. I did cut up a lot of this beforehand because I want to show you a few things, and I don't want my video to be super long, but let's go ahead and get started. So this is an 8.5, so 8.5 right up here, and then it's 5.5 here. So I'm just making sure that it's straight. I just kind of thought that edge didn't look too straight to me. And then you're going to score it. So what you want is you want the base of your card, or your card, I should say, when it's all folded up and ready to go, we want it to fit in a medium envelope. So to do that, the finished measurements need to be 4 1/4 by 5. So to get that measurement with your 8.5 by 5.5, you're going to need to score that at so half of 4 1/4 is 2 1/8, right? So you're going to score it at 2 1/8 on this side and 2 1/8 on that side. And what I do is, I'm going to bring this down so you can see. We'll just go to 2 1/8, and we'll make sure that this is flush with the side up here. And then we're just going to score it with our light blade. And then what I do is I just flip it over and score on the other side, just because that just kind of helps me. I don't know why, just a habit. And then go ahead and score it again. So now that middle part is going to be that part that you need to be 4 1/4 by 5.5. Now, in order to get a gatefold, you are going to need a trimmer, and you're going to need a bone folder. And we have both of those in my store. So let's go ahead and fold those sides. And it gets its name gatefold because, just like a gate closes and it opens. And so does this card, close and open. Now, we're going to talk about different kinds of gatefolds, but this is the basic gatefold. Now we're going to need an inside piece because this is Gorgeous Grape, and I want to put a message, so I need an insert, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. And you can decide, maybe you've decided ahead of time what kind of card you want. What I'm going to make is a Thinking of You card, and I am using up some of my scrap paper, but you can use up we had, like I said, we have some beautiful designer series paper now, and I will show you some of that in a lot of the videos to come. But for right now, I'm going to do a Thinking of You card, and I'm going to use my scraps. And the stamp set, I'm using 2 stamp sets. The stamp set where I get the Thinking of You is from April's Inked Occasions Paper Pumpkin. So I just thought I'd just use it. And if you get the paper pumpkin, when it's a Stampin' Up kit, then you get the stamp, and then you would get the acrylic block, and then you always get an ink spot. And so that's what you would get. And so we're just going to use that Thinking of You. I've already put it on a block. And our paper, designer series paper, this was the Bloom Impressions. It was from Celebration. And so the colors that coordinate with that are Shy Shamrock, uh, Berry Burst, Gorgeous Grape, Blackberry Bliss, Highland Heather. So all of those work really well. And I am using the Gorgeous Grape for the background of my card. And so let's go ahead and stamp Thinking of You now. Now, I decided, did I want to use my Memento Black? Did I want to use Gorgeous Grape? Or did I want to use Berry Burst? For the inside of my card, I am going to go ahead and use the Berry Burst. Now, I think I'm going to change my mind. Because I'm using Gorgeous Grape, I'm not sure about that. So let's just go ahead and use Gorgeous Grape so that we kind of coordinate. I'm not sure what I was thinking there, but this does go great. This is Berry Burst and it goes great, but I don't know. So we'll change it up a little here. So we're going to use our Gorgeous Grape ink pad here. We're just going to go ahead and tap, tap, tap. And I am going to grab some scrap paper because I want to make sure that I got that stamp inked the way I want it. And I'm just going to pull over some grid paper here and I'm going to see. Okay, so I did get good ink. So let's just go ahead and tap it one more time. I'm going to stamp it on my card. Now I like my glass mat because it has this grid and I can make sure it's lined up, especially when I'm doing videos because I can't be right over the card and I need to line it up with the line. So that's what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and stamp this. This will be the insert here. I'm going to just close that. And there we go. So that's going to be the inside. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the inside just so that we get our card kind of done as we go. And I am also going to be using a liquid glue. Sometimes I call it green glue, but it is multi-purpose liquid glue. And what I like about that, especially when I'm doing videos, is that this adhesive gives me just a little bit of time. You know, if you don't get your item that you're adhering perfectly straight, it gives you just a little time to maneuver that before the glue dries. All right, so we've got the inside done. Let's go ahead and work on the outside. Now, I did stamp this in Berry Burst, but I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to stamp it in, you know what do I want to do that? Yes, I'm going to stamp it in Gorgeous Grape, and that is, I know I must have had this out for something else. I don't think this was supposed to go together. So that's good to know that I'm not losing it. So let's see here. I'll just get a piece of Gorgeous Grape here. So we'll just get some pieces here, and I'm going to go ahead and I want a circle. And I was going to put just a note, and that does fit on here. So let's get the circle but out of Gorgeous Grape. And so here we go. This is just a piece of Gorgeous Grape. This is a 2-inch circle punch, but you definitely can use the Spotlight on Nature circle dies, and those would work perfect. And so let's go ahead and stamp this. We're going to stamp Just a Note. And that Just a Note is from the Simply Said stamp set. And so you can find this in our catalog. And what I like about it is it has a sentiment for everything. Whether you're celebrating or today we're thinking of someone, or happy birthday, or you're thanking them, or just a note. So it's just a great stamp set. So you can pick one up by going to my website. And again, I'm going to stamp off just to make sure I have a good stamp. I'm trying to stay in the camera frame here. All right, there we go. Now, this is important. This is why I tell you to stamp before you stick, and sometimes I forget, so it's a good thing to get in a habit of, because I had already stamped here, but it was a different color and I didn't want it, and I can also see that that wasn't a great stamp right there. But if you stamp before you stick, then if you don't like it, you can just turn it over and go ahead and adhere it to what you were going to adhere it to, and no one would ever know. You would be the only one. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and put this on the circle right there. And then we're going to finish up with our card. Now I believe we're finished with the ink, so let's close it up and get it out of my area so I don't have a mishap. And so again, you can take any designer series paper you want. Now I'm going to show you some gatefolds that use different designer series paper. So just sit tight. Now I did also want to tell you that our designer series paper is double-sided. And so one side might be thematic, or in this case, one side is floral. The other side is different. And so if it's thematic, know that the other side may be, well, it'll be a side you could use all year round. So see how it's like that blended, like a watercolor kind of, and it's blue. So you can either use that as layers or something that you want to coordinate the rest with. Now, the one thing I want to make sure is that I don't get one piece of designer series paper. If it's directional, you want to be mindful of that direction. And so I also did want to tell you that, remember when we talked about measurements? So we know that this was 2 1/8, right? This was 2 1/8. And so we want that 1/8 of an inch here. So we're going to take an 1/8 of an inch and an 1/8 of an inch, and that's going to be 1/4 of an inch. So instead of 2 1/8, it's going to be 1 3/4 wide. And we know that the length is 5 1/2, so we would cut it at 5 1/4. So we're going to have 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and you're going to want 2 of them, one for each side. Now I will have these measurements on my blog. Sometimes it takes me a day or two to get that done, but it'll be there. But you can figure it out if you know the measurements. So if you want that margin to be 1/4 of an inch, you're going to take an 1/8 of an inch off each side and an 1/8 of an inch on this side, or you simply can just take 1/4 off, if however you might want that. Usually I just take 1/4 off when I'm cutting it, so it doesn't, you know, we're not doing rocket science here. All right, then this is a great card. We could decorate it, but the thing of it is when you fold it and you put it in your envelope, no problem, right? But when your person gets it, you want that to kind of look intentional and to fit nicely. So we can put our card together and use a belly band. This is what this is called. I'm going to show you different belly bands, but we're going to take this and we're going to fold it around our card just like this, not too tightly, because you want this to be able to slip up and down. If you put it too tight, then it's not going to be able to slip up and down, right? So you want that movement, or possibility of that movement. Now this is kind of long here, so I am just going to cut it because I don't want that much of an overlap. You don't have to, I just want to. And so I'll just cut that, and then you can use your green glue to glue it. Now see, I didn't cut it straight, so that would look better to just cut it straight, or I'll overlap the other side too maybe. All right, so we can also put this in the front because we're going to put that circle that I just cut, and that can cover up that seam. So see how it would cover up the seam? And so let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and use some glue, and I'm not going to varnish this too deeply because we want that room to slip up and down, right? But I am going to put just a little bit of adhesive only on the belly band because we want it, I guess I'm getting low on glue here, because we want it to stay closed. And you can see I have a little glue left over there. That's fine, because what we're going to do is we're going to put our sentiment, whoops, maybe I'll hold it there for a moment, and then we're going to put our sentiment right there. And I love to use my bone folder just to secure that down. So now you see that I have this belly band, and it's going to move up and down. And when your recipient gets this, and I think I'm going to put a little glue right here because I want this circle to be balanced. Your recipient is going to be able to take it off and then put it back on. But we also want to decorate it a little bit. So I have a sprig that I used from a die just to cut. And I'm just going to put this right here. And then I'm going to put a little bow right there. So let's go ahead and do that. The other option would be, and this is a good option too, is just to put a butterfly on here. So you can do that as well. Now this butterfly kind of blends so much with the designer series paper that I'm not sure it gives it the wow that I would want it to. So let's just go ahead and put a little bit of glue. Now there are some fine tip glue bottles that you can use. You can use a sponge, which is usually what I do, but I think I can get enough glue on here and not get it all over to make this work. So let's just go ahead, and I'm going to just pop this on here. And then I have that bow. So this is white ribbon. This is also in my online store. This is, let's see, it's 1/4 inch. And I like to have a lot of white ribbon on hand because if there's a certain color I want and I don't have that color of ribbon, with white ribbon, you can take your alcohol markers or even your ink, and you can dye your ribbon, and it will match whatever color of cardstock you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and take this bow, and I'm going to use my glue dots to secure that down. So there's a glue dot here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. And I'm just going to put it on the back of my bow. I do that with my finger, kind of like scooch it on. And then I'm just going to put my bow right like that. Now we can definitely take some different bling and put on there if we want to. We can definitely do that. These are older colors, so matching them, let me see if I have something that does match. That's the thing when you use maybe some of your scraps, you don't always have the things that match. But let me see what I have here. If I do, I definitely want to put some, oh, I do. Hello, Rita. All right, so I have some green and pink, and I am just going to use those. I'll get my take a pick tool, and I'll just kind of like put them on there. And I like to put an odd number, just like put them on there. However, you know, if you have a rhyme or reason, go ahead and do that. So sometimes we do, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So right now, let's see, I have 3 on there. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 more because I did want to put these together right here. And so that would make, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I want an odd amount, right? So 1 more. And I'm thinking I'm going to just put another one right here. All right, so I was lucky to have some bling that matched, but that's why it's kind of nice just to use what, you know, to be able to shop and get current stuff, because you know that our product is going to coordinate. So whatever color it is, whether it's cardstock or it's ink or whatever, it's all going to coordinate. Now I need to clean up a little here so that I can function. But let's look at some more of these gatefolds. So here's a gatefold. Now this gatefold, I used the inked occasions from the April's paper pumpkin. And this, you can see this gatefold is a little bit different because this side is wider. Oops, I was going to show you that you could decorate it however you want with odds and ends that you might have left. This is the inked occasions, and so I just used that on some berry burst. I didn't put the white insert on in here, but we know it's going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And then this is actually an inch. Yes, an inch. So here's how I figured it. This flap right here was scored at an inch, and then I need 4 1/4 here. So 4 1/4 and an inch is 5 1/4, right? What do I have left? I have almost 3. Is it? Let's see here. It is 3. So 3 and 1 1/4 is 4 1/4, and that's how. So this was 1 1/4. I'm sorry. And then I just cut the inked occasions. This was a card base, and I always cut up my card bases and do alternatives. And so I had this left over. And the colors in here are Berry Burst, Gorgeous Grape, Pool Party, Pumpkin Pie, and so, and Crushed Curry. So any of those colors would have worked. And I wanted the belly band to have a sentiment on it. And this word hugs already came in the paper pumpkin. At first I put it on just some white, but it kind of got lost. So I took some gold and I just glued the white strip onto the gold, and then I glued the word hugs that already, it was a punch out. And so that's what I did with that. But this is an uneven, I call it the uneven gatefold, because this side, the left side, is wider than the right side. So there's that. This is a surprise gatefold, because when you open this flap, then you have the gatefold, right? And this is using Pool Party, and then it's using that sweet birthday treats designer series paper. And in the back of that package of designer series paper, there are these colorful punch outs that you can use to decorate your cards. And then there's also a sheet that has like tags and some different ephemera that you can use. And so I did just go ahead and use the cupcake. And then this Celebrate came from another ephemera pack that's called Birthday Treats. And I've used most of that up, but this is where it came from. So it had 2 cakes and some balloons and cupcakes, and then on the second sheet it has sentiments. So since Mossy Meadow goes with is a coordinating color, that worked out for me. So here's just a surprise fun fold is what I call it. So you know, it looks like a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 portrait card, and then when you open it up, there's the gatefold. So there's that. And then I have another one I wanted to show you, and this is using the same designer series paper. That's that birthday suite. And this is a gatefold, but it's a double gatefold. So when you open up this, so this opens top and bottom, right? So when you open this up, then you have another gatefold, and then you have the card. Okay, so it looks like this. So when you open it, there you go. I should move this sentiment. Let's see, I just have it with a glue dot, so it should come off. So the sentiment should go, so you know how to hold it, should go that way. So you open the card, and then you have another gatefold as well. Now, one of the things I did is I did do this just a little different. That's why I put this way, is I wanted to put the belly band on it here just like this. Now, I used vellum, and I don't have vellum in my store. I just had some vellum that was left over because I used to really use a lot of vellum, so I always had some on hand. But you can get vellum on Amazon. They have a good vellum that is almost as well, obviously it's not exactly like our vellum, but it's pretty close. So you can use vellum as a belly band. Now remember, when you're gluing vellum, where they meet is going to be on the front, and it's covered up by this beautiful punch out, which comes with that birthday, wildflower birthday designer series paper pack. Boy, I'm having an issue with this, aren't I? But so it just covers up that seam of the vellum, because whenever you have adhesive on vellum, it shows through. So that's what this is out of. You could use acetate, so we call them window sheets. I just didn't have any today, so that's on my to get list, but you could also do it out of acetate. And it's just something that's going to hold your card from flipping around. And so all of these are going to fit in that medium size envelope, and I can put it in there. Now, the thicker your card is, even though it fits in a medium-sized envelope, you want to consider the postage on it, because if it weighs a certain amount or it's a certain thickness, it can't go through the sorting machine. It has to be hand sorted, and so you'd have to put some more postage on it. So I believe this is on the borderline, so if I were going to mail it, I'd want to put at least $1.19 in postage on it. So this could also be one that's hand delivered, so then you wouldn't have to worry about postage at all. But here are some gatefolds that I wanted to share with you today. Let me see. So you can definitely try your hand at some gatefolds and see how you like them. And also, if you want the measurements, I gave you the measurements to this, but you can also figure out those measurements, because that's the point of it. And you can also go to my website at ritaspapermotif.com, and I want to say give me till Friday, because tomorrow I'm going to be out and about, but you should be able to find them by Friday on the website. So thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this video, please consider hitting that like button. And I also would like to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. And definitely the ultimate compliment is when you share the video. So thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye now.